This story comes from AD&D 2nd edition. I was dungeon mastering, because of course I was. And we had a party of an elven ranger, a human cleric, and a human fighter named Tydra. And this story is mostly about Tydra. Now, the party had gotten involved in a war between dwarven clans deep within the Undermountain, where they were fighting over something, and one of the dwarven clans was essentially evil because they were being manipulated by their evil dwarven warlord, or whatever the hell I made him. I don't remember exactly what. Anyway, they had gotten caught up in the middle of this war, and they finally got to the point where both armies of each side had finally met, ready to start this battle, and the party was literally stuck in the middle. Tydra was played by my friend Josh, who I have a lot of stories about Josh. He's an entertaining player, to say the least. Now, the character of Tydra was a human fighter, and he had a strength score of, I want to say, 18 over 91? Somewhere. It was on the high end for sure. And he was the kind of guy who wasn't the best armored and held a two-handed great sword. And he was quick to anger, quick to violence, and any opportunity where he got to use that great sword, he would do it. So the party is caught in the middle of these two warring factions, and no matter what they do, there's nothing they can do at this point. They're going to go to war, they're going to fight, and people are going to get killed. And they were helping defend they're helping defend one of the dwarven clans where bad stuff was happening to them. So the evil dwarven clan was coming on up. Specifically, they showed up with ballistas. In this campaign, or my campaign, or adventures, or whatever, ballistas were these huge fucking rolling anti-tower, shooting logs kind of siege weapons. So then, these ballistas roll up. They're dwarven clans here, parties in the center, and they're like, oh crap, what are we supposed to do? And the way I had it set up was that the party would need to get off of the battlefield and basically kind of go around through a stronghold, or the fort, or whatever it was, and kind of make their way around the warring armies and flank the possessed dwarven clan, get to their leader, and take him out. If they take him out, the charm spell, whatever, would stop, and everyone would regain their senses. So to do this, to get them through off the battlefield and get over to it, as soon as they realize they're caught in that middle, and the dwarven army shows up with their siege weapons, they fire. Massive ballista shot just launched, and it's right at the party. And they had enough time to see this coming at them, and they would know to, get out of the way. Unfortunately, I forgot that Tydra was being played by Josh. And he always makes very specific decisions when something like that happens. So I tell my players, you hear a large twang as a ballista fires, and a huge ballista shot just is coming right at you. And I was like, you guys got time to get out of the way though. Josh looks at me and he says, I catch it. What? I'm gonna catch the ballista shot. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. At the time, from him, at least. A ballista shot would kill him. It would go through the torso, and then it would cartoon physics, leave his limbs there. He would look down, and then his body would fall apart, just super dead. This dude says, I'm gonna catch it. What I forgot was that he had something on him to help him do this. Josh says, I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna drink my potion of giant strength and catch it. At some point, I've forgotten exactly when, he had received a potion of giant strength. Like I said, his strength score was very, very high. The potion of giant strength was specifically a potion of fire giant strength. So Josh, hulks up, got huge fire giant muscles, and I just look at him, and I say, I'm gonna roll 1d20. I roll 20, you catch it. God damn it. I rolled a 20. Incoming ballista, Tydra, arms at the ready, grabs onto it and like it slides him back like 15-20 feet like Dragon Ball Z style. I was like, alright, fine. You caught it. Are you happy? Can we move on? No, that wasn't the end. Because now Tydra, hulked up, roided up pretty much, has his ballista. And he's like, I'm gonna throw the ballista shot over my shoulder and then run to the Dwarven army with it. And I'm like, what? What? So now, this crazy, roided up human fighter dude, he's got this massive ballista shot, and he's holding onto it like a bat. And he just charges at the Dwarven army, just, yeah! And then the chaos ensues. Like, at that point, like, it's just on. Like, both armies start going at each other. The other two party members, like, are like, and they just struggle to try to keep up with Tydra. And then he finally gets up to the army, and then rather than going all the way around through this really cool fortress and encounters and stuff that had all this planned, nope, right through the middle. They're just gonna plow their way right through all of the enemy dwarves and get to their leader. So Tydra, wielding this massive ballista, just runs through him, just starts swinging it, just like a massive ballista bat. And sure enough, just cuts his way through them. Just there goes 3 doors, there goes 15 more dwarves, and just opens, like, Moses' a path through these dwarves for this the party to get in. And he's just swinging wildly. And these are dwarves too, so to him it was like swatting away a bunch of fat middle schoolers, just cuts through the army, and the other dwarves are like, I'm not dealing with that, I'm gonna go fight the people my size. So they're off back there and they're fighting. And they finally get to the Captain Dwarf or whatever he was. And I figured, you know, he'll swat him with the ballista bat and have a good time. No, not at that point. He gets up to the captain, and you know, he takes out his 2 axes, and they're ready to throw down or whatever it was. And Tydra, with his ballista bat, throws it at him. I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. I was like, alright, make your roll. And sure enough, he just throws his massive ballista back at the dwarf, and I think he said something clever at the time. He's like, you dropped this, or something, like this was yours, something to that effect. It was very funny. Throws it, he rolls, and he's got like massive bonuses because of his strength modifier being 22, and of course he hits it, but I don't want to just let him instantly murder this big encounter that I had planned, so he gets hit by it, and I just say like the dwarf gets like trapped underneath or something. So like this huge enemy that's been built up for so long just gets comically trapped underneath this ballista, just can't get it off. And then, you know, then he pulls out his great sword, the Elven Ranger shows up, and the cleric gets his mace and he's ready to bash on them. And at that point, he's already messed up by a ballista. He's stuck underneath. It takes him a while to even get underneath while they're just wailing on him. And sure enough, with not a whole lot of resistance, they killed that dwarf, stopped the fight, saved the armies, and made peace to the dwarven kingdoms. All because Tydra drank a fire giant strength potion and got a ballista bat.